This is Overtime Inside Fantasy Sports of 401. Randall The Handle, Matthew Cos joining me. And like we do each and every week, we take a look at Randall The Handle's best bet, his best picks in the Friday Toronto Sun. And Randall, this week, you're all over the Chiefs-Chargers game. This game is going to go a long way to deciding who wins the AFC West. Of course, Kansas City out in front right now, but they're probably going to be down a quarterback this week with Matt Castle going down with appendicitis. And the Chargers, a 6.5-point favorite. I still think that's maybe a cheap line.
Yeah, that line might go up. We may see an 8 or 9 by game time now that Castle looks like he'll be out. But San Diego, this is a playoff game for them. They have to win this game. If they lose, they are done.
Yeah, and I agree with you because Brody Crowell, again, 0-9 as a starter, not a very good quarterback. And as someone who had his appendix out, you can't have your appendix out and then play quarterback 4 days later. But here's my one concern. What happened to San Diego last week?
Well, that's always
what happened against the Raiders? How did they lose to the Raiders?
They're goofy. They do goofy stuff. We saw that in the first game against Kansas City.
How is a goofy team your best bet? Well, that's goofy.
Because they still have talent. If they don't make the blunders that they continually make, they're supposed to blow this team out. In week 1, Kansas City threw for 62 yards.
Oh, I know. Yep.
So, at home, 2 weeks in a row, I don't see them doing it again.
Exactly. And they were coming off a big win on the road against the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah,
maybe they're reading the press a little bit too much. They were the team to beat. They were the team on the rise. This brings them back down to earth a little bit. This is a revenge game. It's a revenge match. San Diego's going to come out with something to prove this week. And by the way, Kansas City looked horrendous last week against Denver at home, which should be a very tough place to play for opponents.
They've had a very soft schedule, Kansas City. Extremely soft. When you look at their opponents, they don't have a true pedigree. San Diego does.
Last week, I want to get to this game because both teams lost, but both teams lost in very different manners. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in it to the end with the Atlanta Falcons. The Washington Redskins didn't even show up against the New York Giants. Now you got Tampa going up to Washington, and they're a 2-point road favorite. I'm kind of surprised they're commanding such respect.
You know what? I do like Washington this one because the Atlanta loss, that was a real just punch in the gut sort of loss. That's a game they had won. The kickoff return touchdown, the late drive. That's a demoralizing loss. With Washington, I think you can throw that away. Also, Tampa, again, this is a warm weather team coming up to Washington. It's going to be very cold in the area. So I understand why the spread is what it is right now.
Yeah, I agree with what Matt said.
There you are.
And Tampa Bay is not a favorite. They're a good team, like an up-and-coming team. They're getting better, but they're laying points. They've laid points 3 times this year. The only team they covered against were the very weak Carolina Panthers. Now they're going into an NFC East team, cold weather, after that demoralizing loss. It's a tough spot to be spotting any points, even though it's only 2. I think Washington can get back.
A ton of injuries as well.
And getting rid of Hainsworth this week has to help the Redskins.
It gets rid of a lot of distractions. It galvanizes the team.
Absolutely.
It puts the focus more. And you're right. Losing Hainsworth will actually be better.
No Aqib Talib, no Cody Grimm. Their center's gone in Tampa. They got some severe injury issues. I think the game might be a shootout, though, guys. I think a lot of points will go on the board. One more game I want to get to very quickly. The Browns take on the Buffalo Bills. It's going to snow in Buffalo. Probably bad weather. It's basically a pick 'em. Buffalo's a 1-point favorite at this point. But I don't know how Buffalo can be a favorite in this game. I like Cleveland all the way.
Buffalo has the best quarterback on the field.
That's the one thing they got.
Well, that's an important thing, and now all you got to do is win with the best quarterback. That works for me.
I care about a better offensive line. Well, that's what Cleveland has.
No, just 2 words, and again, to Bill Randall said, Jake Delhomme. This guy, I could be playing safety, and I could get an INT.
They won the game last week against Miami.
Yes, a very ugly game. That's
Chad
won because Chad Henne had a lousy day.
Well, he's useless.
Listen, I can see why that. Again, Jake Delhomme's a horrible quarterback. I'd steer clear of that game entirely.
All right. Each and every Sunday morning, check out Randall The Handle and the boys on Inside the Lines on the Fan 590 across the country on the Fan Network. Is that what they call it, Randall?
Yeah,
the Fan Network.
The Fan Radio
Whatever it's
Network
called.
across the
10 to 12:30. It's a morning of goodness coming your way each and every Sunday. We'll see you next time.
Go, Buffalo.